today is actually quite a sad day for me, in that I think we'll be parting company with the CLK. Good morning everyone. Well, you join me here in my 2007 Mercedes CLK 350 Sport. Now, we don't often see this car on the channel, and there's probably a very good reason for that. As my family have got older, I find that we're not really using this car as much. So I bought this car back in 2017 and I was really pleased. Great solid car, German engineering, great performance, and 4 seats, which is great because essentially 2 boys at the time were quite young, and there's room for bucket child seats and everything in the back, which is great. So we was able to go on various outings and trips out, and one of the best one I think was over to the Norfolk coast. It was the Wells next to the sea, and then down to Heaton Manor overnight, where there's a biblical thunderstorm, and the car did brilliant. It didn't leak or anything, so really pleased with the car's performance. But I guess as we've got older, I've had this car, what's that, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 years now. The boys have got much older, and as a consequence they don't really fit in the back anymore. Long-legged teenagers, it's okay for short distances, but for longer distance journeys or certainly trips away, it's a bit of a no-no. And if you think about it, I've already got a 2-seater with the 1989 Jaguar XJS V12 Coupe, which is meant to be a 2+2, with the +2 being very much optional, unless of course you're babies or very small children. So it's not quite the same here. There is more legroom here in the CLK than there is the XJS, definitely, but if you're sort of 6 foot plus, which both my boys nearly are now, there's not much room here for long distance journeys. And equally, I found the space in the rear of the CLK, in the boot or in the trunk, it's not as spacious as you might think. Essentially the CLK is based on the C-Class. The packaging for the car is constrained by that wheelbase. So the boot is actually quite small, particularly when you have the roof down. That takes up probably around 1/4 of the boot. When you pull it down, it compromises the depth of the boot. So today is actually quite a sad day for me, in that I think we'll be parting company with the CLK. I've decided to sell the CLK and move it on. It's simply because of the practical reasons of the practical experience with this car. I no longer can really afford to have 2 cars where essentially there's only room for 2 passengers. It's simply not practical enough, which is a real shame, because on days like this, it's gorgeous, it's very quiet, it's refined, it's got plenty of performance. Just a great experience. If there's one criticism I have of the car, it's probably that the wheels are a little bit too low profile for UK roads. We are blessed, or more likely cursed, with potholes on most of our road infrastructure now, even motorways now, and what I do find is that the CLK does tend to crash through these potholes a lot of the time, and that's just a compromise of having low profile tyres on the wheels. If you have this on smooth tarmac, it's beautiful. It's a quiet, refined cruiser. Although the bracing is very good in the CLK, I do find that it can get traumatised quite badly by extreme potholes, which is never great. But that's just a minor criticism, really. Such a great car on a nice warm day like this. So genuinely I am hoping that the next owner enjoys this car as much as I have. I think if you are a couple, or a couple with a small young family who want this car for a couple of years, 5 years even, I think it'd be great. The car is currently advertised for sale, and hopefully the car will find a new owner who will enjoy it as much as I have and will look after it. Despite the lack of use, I've made sure that the car is regularly serviced annually without fail, regardless of mileage, and this car now has 66,800 miles as I look down at the odometer, and we have 15 service stamps in the book, all done by either main dealer Mercedes-Benz franchise garages or my preferred specialist independent garage that looks after and specialises in German cars, and they've looked after this for many years. Well, I don't think there's really much more to say on that. I'll be sad to see the car go, but as long as it gets a good new owner who will look after it, then I'll draw some comfort from that. But for me, it's farewell old friend. It's been amazing. I've really enjoyed this car, and let's hope the next owner does as well. Well, thanks very much for watching. Sorry if this has come across as a little bit morose, but difficult. I struggle when I come to sell cars, and I don't do it very often. So I will miss this car, even though I don't use it as much. I just console myself that obviously I'm very fortunate, and I have the other cars. So the Jaguar 4-door S-Type, which does actually replace this car. It's not the end of the world. It's just it's difficult for me when I have to part with a car I really enjoy and admire. So there we are. Thanks very much for watching. Plenty of content with other cars